Hello, grandkids. Glad you can make it. My name's Nyla, your resident grandkid host, and welcome to the granpod. Today we are recording the 12th episode of the podcast, or the 5th episode in season 2. So if you haven't listened to any other ones, like, what are you doing? Don't do it now. Maybe finish this episode, or you can do it now. I'm not here to tell you what you do. You're a person in your own right. But for today, I have my next super special grandkid guest. Super special grandkid guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Alex. You might know me. Actually, you probably don't know me as BUZZKIll, but that's my artist name if you listen to my music. You probably know me as that one guy from Twitter who sometimes replies via tweets. Hi.
Hi. Yes. Today we have Alex on the podcast. Very glad to have you here. Thank you so much for wanting to be on the podcast. Yeah, I always appreciate a new guest. Of
Well,
course.
thanks for inviting
So,
me.
now I like to start things off with an icebreaker question. Icebreaker questions help both me and you to become more comfortable. I just ask you whatever silly little thing has occurred in my brain, and we go ahead and we talk about it. You give me your answer, I give you my answer. We have a little bit of a discussion. Sounds good? Are you ready for your icebreaker question? Let's go.
Yes.
Okay, so icebreaker question. How many hmm, how many 8-year-olds do you think you could take in a fight? Just at once.
Ooh, that's that's an, I think actually
Quite a few.
quite a few. Um, I mean, well, 8-year-olds might be
Mm-hmm.
stronger than you might think. 8-year-olds. But I also think, just they're quite small, so you might be able to just kick him in the face
Okay.
and they'll be
But
done.
you also have to
So,
acknowledge
so
the eight
it
year
also
olds these
depends.
days are built different.
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge that. So,
Oh,
I'm just saying.
also depends if how many of them are coming at you at the same
Okay,
time,
so
probably. Like if they're
yeah,
just
it's essentially
circling
like
you,
at
might have
first
a
there's like
problem.
one, and then it's like okay, and then like two come, and then every single time there's like a little bit more. So they're coming like
Oh,
one, and then there's two at a time, and
okay.
then there's three at a time, and then there's four. And next thing you know, you got a bunch of, and there's an endless supply. So as many as you can take, it will keep dishing out until you're done. So essentially,
So I think maybe at like 5 or 6 at a time is where it might start to get tough,
hmm
tougher. Because they just can come at you from all angles. But also maybe their attacks won't hurt as much, so you can take some and just
because they're
hit
kids.
them back. Maybe maybe then a few more. This is a weird question. Never thought about hitting 8-year-olds. Okay.
You don't
Um.
necessarily. It's not like a battle to the death. It's more like once they go down, they're like they run away and go play in a field or whatever. But they will come at you,
Yeah.
and then once they're down, they're gone. They're not popping back up.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna say eight.
Okay.
8 at a time. Be
Okay.
the limit. Seems like a
That's a good number.
reasonable
That's a good
number.
number. I feel like for me, as I have thought about this question a little too much, there's other factors that I need to think about. I need to think about whether the 8-year-olds are working in tandem, like they have a plan and they've strategized, or if they're just like every man for himself. We're just gonna do what we gotta do. That changes my answer. Okay, if they're working as a team, I don't think I can do. I think like 5 is the limit because they are working as a team and they have strategy. Now, if they do
Yeah.
not have strategy, I can develop a strategy. Okay, and once I have that strategy, it's over. Okay, I can get at least not to get cocky or anything. I can get at least 10 to 12. That's my range because all you got to do is think about the fact that once they're down, you know? So I just got to get them down. And that's not hard. I'm larger than
Ooh.
them. And if they're doing it
That's a
in
good
as an
thought.
individual, right? All I gotta do is they're all gonna be attacking me at once, but they don't have a plan. They're all willy nilly. Okay, I can use one 8 year old to like knock over another 8 year old. Boom, that's two 8 year olds down. I only got a few more. Like there's levels to this. So um also no 8 year olds were harmed in the making of this question. I have not tested this out. I shan't test it out. Kids are fine. Um but yeah, so that's my perspective on it. I've thought way too much about this, as you can probably tell. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
thought way too much about
probably.
this. But yeah, it depends on whether they're strategizing or not. But yeah, do you have any amendments that you want to make to your answer now that you've heard mine, or are you still sticking with your eight?
Well, I think I've sort of chosen the middle ground between your two answers. So I think if eight could be a good answer, whether or not they're
Mm-hmm.
strategizing on it. So
That's a
maybe
good one.
it's
Yeah,
sort of average number of 8 year
eight 8 year
olds.
olds. It's the average one that a person can take down. Well, okay, there we go. That's our icebreaker question. How are you feeling?
The ice is broken. So are the eight.
So,
So are the
oh,
8 year olds. In fact,
not in the making of this podcast. Not in the making of this
in theory.
podcast. So are the 8 year olds is crazy. That shouldn't have been funny. Okay, so now it's time for our interview. If you don't know what an interview is, I don't know how that works. But essentially I'm gonna ask my guests questions. First about how they found grandson, more about the community, then maybe a little bit more about them, some stuff that they're up to, all that jazz. It's really, really fun. I love this part. And I always start off with the same question. So, how did you find grandson?
Okay, so it was I think January of 2019. I don't should have looked up the exact date. It doesn't matter. January of 2019. A friend of mine sent me a link to a YouTube video, and it was a
Mm,
AMV, uh, an anime music video. I
yep.
think the thing is, and the song
Mm.
was Bloodwater, and I might have enjoyed that song. So then I at that time I wasn't using Spotify yet, so I went to my YouTube downloader, and for some reason I didn't think about just downloading the actual song. I downloaded the audio from that video. So at some part there's just an ridiculously loud scream in it. For some reason I never bothered to just take the normal song. Yeah, and so then I listened to literally only Bloodwater, no other song for like
For real.
2 weeks straight, and then maybe like 2 months later, I was like, wait, that's an artist, not just a song. Maybe I should check out more of his stuff. And, and then I listened to the rest. And I remember literally one day after I subscribed to his YouTube channel, the Oh No video came out. So that's
Mm-hmm.
about the time that I got into Grandson. Uh, yeah, and then I listened
Not
to
the Oh No
everything.
video.
So I think actually, yeah, that was a thing.
Dang, that's crazy. That is that is crazy. I think the Oh No video is really funny, especially if you're gonna be listening to this around the time where we're recording it, because right now grandson is bald, and the Oh No video was a result of why
Oh yeah.
why he went bald the first
Yeah,
time. Um, so yeah, that was you came right around the origins of Egg Son. So
I did.
my fun fact is I saw him 3 days before that video dropped. Like I literally saw him live. I have
Ooh.
pictures with him with the hair, and then 3 days later, the guy was bald, and I was like, "What happened? Like, what could have possibly happened between this? I just saw you like 2 days ago. Like, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that's an insane moment of time to appear in the grandson community.
Really.
Um,
Yeah.
So, speaking of the community, how have you like interacted with the community? I know we're all a bunch of introverts, so it's a little bit harder. But like, can you describe your experience with the grandkids and with the community and things like that?
So actually, I started on Instagram because I made a meme page. It's
Mm.
ridiculously inactive, but it's a different thing. Uh, so I sort of was on Instagram with the grandkids at first, but I never really like interacted with anyone except like one person. And then at some point, I was like, yeah, let's make a Twitter. And I sort of started finding more and more of the grandkids, and yeah,
Yeah.
now we're
Yeah,
there.
that's now you're on a
Now on a
podcast. Yeah,
podcast.
a lot of that's kind of where the central house point is. There are grandkids everywhere, but Twitter is kind of where we I was gonna say amalgamated, but that sounds wrong. Where we
Yeah,
congregated. Amalgam. Anyways,
yeah. I don't know
there
either
we
of those
go.
ones.
Um, I used to read the dictionary as a kid. Do I remember the meanings? No, it's
Oh,
just a thing I did. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where we ended up gathering and finding each other, and it's really dope. So I Love You, I'm Trying came out this year. What's your favorite song from it and why?
murderer, because
You're correct.
it's insane. It's just
It's so good.
it's so good. I mean, the whole album is, but
Mm-hmm.
like that song
Mm-hmm.
is so good,
You get it. You get
so
it.
good.
Murderer's my absolute beloved. It is my second favorite grandson song. It would have taken first, but nothing's beating Things Change. It's not even an officially released song. I don't care. Things Change is my
Yeah,
favorite grandson song. Grandson, if you ever hear this, drop Things Change, please. It's my baby
yeah,
girl.
please
But yeah,
do.
no, Murderer is absolutely bonkers. Like, I don't know what he put in that song, but it's it's insane. Like, even it just the
Yeah,
instrumental is like bonkers, and it's got this like really hard hitting like not even industrial but like almost industrial sound, and but it's got like these really soothing moments that are like beautiful, and then it's got like
yeah,
the gorgeous vocals from I why is his name escaping me, um the lead singer of X Ambassadors. I don't know why his name is escaping me. I just said it like last
I
night.
don't
Anyways,
know it.
he does the vocals for like the chorus part. Um, and then there's like it goes through all this chaos, and then there's the end where it's just like this somber kind of retelling of
Yeah,
things from a different perspective after the fact of everything. And it's like this song is on a different level. I don't know. He was cooking.
it might just be like songwriting wise, maybe it's just like objectively his
Ooh,
best song. It's
I
insane.
I
I don't know. I mean, it's not my
no,
personal
I
favorite,
get it.
but
I get it. I feel like
I don't know.
that it is a runner. It is in the running for being objectively his like best written song. Um, yeah, I think it's definitely in the running for it. I have a little bit of bias towards Song from Death of an Optimist because they're all within the narrative of Death of an Optimist, kind of. But I feel like
Yeah,
as a standalone song without this like overarching lore, Murderer definitely like is up there. But then you also can't like really take away from like the songs in the earlier modern tragedies where he's kind of just straight up storytelling, like with Stick Up and like 6 o'clock and stuff like that. But yeah, Murderer's up there. I love Murderer. That's my baby. I adore. It's genuinely my favorite song. Actually, it's my favorite song on I Love You I'm Trying, and then a lot of people might not know that. One of my other favorite songs on I Love You I'm Trying is Two Along Their Way, which is insane because it is the intro and it's like itty bitty, but it just makes me so happy and soothing and I love it.
yeah.
Um,
My second favorite is
real.
probably When the Bomb Goes because
Insane.
it goes so hard. And I like
Absolutely.
the
Oh, me
heavier
too.
stuff.
Me
So
too. I mean, my another one of my favorites is it used to be World War III, which I do love still. World War III is my baby, but I haven't heard it live in so
yeah,
long because he didn't play it live this tour run. So I'm sticking to We Did It
Yeah.
because that live is the most electrifying thing in the world. Like it's literally we did it, and then it's like we did it. It was like
It
ah,
is.
we did it. Um. So yeah, I completely get that. I usually drift towards the heavier stuff, if not the more emotionally charged stuff, which is why I like things like Welcome to Paradise and stuff like that. I like the floatier songs sometimes. I either like to float or
Yeah.
I like to headbang. One or the other.
Yeah.
But okay, so enough talk about whoever grandson is. Tell me about your music. Talk about what you got going on. What's going on?
Yeah. So I made an EP. It's out. You can listen to it. Maybe
I got
you'll
you.
find a link somewhere. Um, it's called Only the Beginning. I like to say it's five and a half songs because one isn't really a song. It's more of an intro. But then you know, it's, oh God, I'm stuck. No, it's five songs. They are very personal. A lot of them, actually all of them except one, are
Real
quite angry, and the other one is
me.
very sad. So it's so it's not very negative emotions, but I like to, you know, I don't know. I I like to make negative music. That's not what that sounds weird, but I feel like making I don't feel like I could make happy music. I don't know. It wouldn't feel
No, I
genuine.
get
I don't
that.
know. Maybe maybe that's a problem.
No, I get that. I'm kind of the same way
Yeah. So
when it comes to music. Like all of the music that I have written and incubated is sad in some way. Or it'll sound like a completely normal song with a normal narrative, and then I'll explain it and I'll be like, yeah, so this, that. And then they'll be like, why would you say that? This song was fine, and now you just made me sad. And I'm like, oopie! Like, my bad. So yeah, I completely understand. It just would feel wrong. I'm the kind of person to where if I'm making something, especially like music, and I'm creating, I need to feel a strong, intense emotion, and I need to put it in that work of art that I am making. But I don't, and this isn't to
yeah,
be like sad or anything, but when I'm feeling joy or like any positive emotion, it's never gonna hit as hard as when I'm angry or when I'm sad or anything like that. Like it's never gonna hit as
yeah,
hard. So it's a lot easier for me to draw
definitely.
from negative emotions. So I completely understand where you're coming from with that. I get it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same for me.
How would you describe like your sound? I don't like saying genre because genres are stupid.
Yeah. If you said genre, I wouldn't have had any idea. I would just said
Yeah.
alternative rock, but like I don't know. It's it's drawing from a lot of different places, and also um, there's different songs that were
Hmm.
written in different times. Like I have two songs on that EP that were
Hmm.
written 2 years ago. Well, other ones were written this year, so they very much differ in sound. So I have the two older songs are "I'ma Break Your Neck" and "Only the
Hmm.
Beginning Part 2," the last song. And you can notice that those are a lot simpler when it comes to
Yeah.
everything. The drums and the guitar, it's just everything. It's simpler. It's those are a lot more inspired by the White
Mm,
Stripes, which is
that's
my
real. I
favorite
like the
band
White
actually.
Stripes a lot.
Uh, while the other ones are like coming from not as specific of an inspiration. There's like
Hmm.
different things in there. So there's like I can't quite describe because there's not a certain sound that I'm pulling from. It's just sort of I also write songs in different ways. Like some songs I write
Hmm.
on guitar, and one song, "Fair Weather Friends," I started that on drums and then wrote a guitar
Okay.
part over that, and then another, and then another. That's three parts to that song. Um, so it's it's hard to describe what sort of sound I'm I'm making, but I would say if you like guitar-driven, sad, angry music, you'll probably
Real.
enjoy it.
From what I've heard, it kind of, and you can absolutely just say, shut the fuck up, you're wrong. But from what I've heard of your music, it does kind of feel, if you do want to put like a genre to it or whatever, it's a bit reminiscent of like, not necessarily grunge, but like that grunge gothic kind of vibes from like 80s, 90s is what I've been hearing. Not necessarily in the vein of Nirvana, but more like it kind of reminded me of The Cure a little bit from what little I've heard of The Cure. Um, oh,
Actually, I don't listen to
that's
The Cure,
interesting.
but interesting stuff.
But yeah, maybe take a gander because that's what I was getting. I don't listen to the Cure that much. I think it's really funny that you brought up the White Stripes. So, what is your favorite White Stripes song? Let's just forget about Grandson real quick. What's your favorite White Stripes song? I know it's gonna be hard.
So hard. It's
That's
changed so
real.
much over the time, and oh, I- at some point I just thought, okay, let's just choose like
Mm,
B-side single. That's just very obscure, so I can show how much knowledge I have. But now, now I'm at this point where I'm like, yeah, I love literally
that's
every
real.
single song. Which one
No,
am I
that's real.
supposed to
What's the one
choose?
that you've been listening to the most as of recently, or the one that's
Uh,
been popping up for you?
Well, actually, I've just thought about it a bit more, and I think my favorite song is
Okay.
Canon from the first album. I also may or may not have recorded a cover of that that could be coming out
Ooh,
at
look at
some point.
that. See, we got a Grandpod exclusive, okay? White Stripes cover. I'm trying to think. I had a brief stint where I was listening to the White Stripes quite a bit. And my favorite White Stripes song, I always say this despite me not listening to them enough. Um, it's A Martyr for My Love for You. I love that song so much.
Oh, that's a
I've
great one.
always loved that song. The stripped version too, but most of the primary version. Um, I love that song. Is the lyrical content problematic? A smidgen, but we're just gonna ignore it. We're just gonna ignore it.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I really love that song. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
and then there's like the hits and stuff. Like there will be random days where like Hello Operator
yeah,
gets in my head. I think I was just saying it like the other day, just like washing dishes. Hello Operator,
that's a good
just
song. Hey, so you could have literally said any single White Stripes song. I would have said that's a great song, but
so in that vein, do you also listen to like just Jack White stuff too, or is it just like only the White Stripes?
no less. But I do listen to him. It's only been like this year that
Mm-hmm.
I've really been getting into him, or like last year when he put out the two
Mm-hmm.
new albums. Uh, and at first I was also like in 2021, I was like kind of didn't want to listen to Jack White that much because there was like stuff coming out about him that he wasn't treating his
Mm,
employees fairly or stuff. I'm not quite sure how much of that is true, but in the end, I just love his
real.
music. So it's sort of the accusations didn't seem like too heavy, so I was like, yeah, no need to
Yeah,
like
no need to
stop listening
dwell.
to
I
him.
get you. I get it. Okay, back to back to being the grandpod. Um, um, is there would you say that grandson has influenced you in any way? And if so, how? If not, that's okay. He'll get over it.
Well, there, not as much
Hmm.
like sonically, because his music is like not always very into the rock
Hmm.
side that I like to do. There's also a lot of rap in it or stuff like that, or EDM, that all stuff. I listen to it, I like it, but it's not really music that
Hmm.
I make. So sonically, there's not that much, but I think lyrically and the stuff, the stuff, yeah, lyrically, I think I definitely want to like in the future pull more from sort of social things and political things. I have one like verse on only the beginning part two that sort of goes into that, but like I want to make more of that
Hmm.
in the future. So that's where the grandson inspiration is.
Okay, that's awesome. And I also completely understand the idea of liking to listen to a certain type of music, but also making different music. Because, like, I haven't dropped anything, but if you were to actually hear my music, I make like borderline R&B soul music, and one of my favorite bands is Knock Loose. Like, and all my guy does is scream. Like, and like, I love Grandson, another one of
Yeah.
my favorite bands. I love Dead Poets Society. I love Sleep Token. My music sounds nothing like that. Like,
Yes.
absolutely nothing like that. But I still draw.
I wish my music
Oh
could
my
sound like that
gosh,
Poet
me
Society, but I'm
too.
not that good.
Not a day goes by. And I also don't play guitar. I have one. Where is she? Is she in the front? Yeah. Oh wait, she's that way. I have one. I'm my acoustic. I don't have any other guitar because I know I can't play guitar because it hurts my fingers. Because it's just there's so much going on.
It's, yeah, but that goes
Mm,
away after a while.
I don't.
Just you just need to. I was there. I've been playing guitar for about 5 years now. It's
It
after a
goes
while
away.
it's no problem anymore. And then that's the point
The
where it gets
moment
really
I
fun, where you don't actually have
the
pain
moment I learn
anymore
how
while
to play
playing.
guitar, it's absolutely over. I'm also next year I want to start learning how to do the like metal scream. Don't know how that's gonna play into anything ever,
Ooh.
but oh my god, it'd be so fun to just have that. It's so fun. I can currently do one, but I'm trying to make sure it doesn't affect the rest of my vocals. I can do it to where it doesn't hurt, but it also leaves my voice sound like for a little while. So gotta figure that out.
Ooh, yeah. I've been sort of trying to do like the Kurt Cobain thing where you sort of
Oh,
actively try
real.
to break your voice, and it has
No,
a
yeah, I get
similar
it. So
effect.
it's just about practice and like getting the correct technique. Um, but yeah, so I completely understand about having the difference between the music that you listen to and you like and the stuff that you make. Um, Also because I work on my piano back there, and it's very hard to write a rock song on a piano. Possible, yes. Shouts out Queen.
Yeah.
Very possible. It's not working. It's not working for me. It's
Yes.
not chilling. Like
Yes.
I've tried, and it's not working, but it's in there. So I just gotta once I learn how to play guitar, it's over. It's over. I know how to play ukulele. I know how to play bass. I know how to play drums. I don't know how to play guitar. I don't know how to play guitar. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. I make it sound like I'm like a professional at all of these. I've played bass before. I know where all the notes are. I can kind of do a couple of riffs. As for drums, I did actually play drums in a band for a little while, so that was my thing. And so yeah,
But also I've never played bass, but I think it's not that different
it's
from
not. It's
guitar
but
playing,
it's
isn't it?
less strumming and more of a like a yeah, it's less of the strum and more of the like focused on note.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's
but
more note focused than like chord
you
focused.
can do that on guitar too. It depends on
Yeah.
the music,
I mean, you
I
don't really
guess.
strum chords on a bass. Not that I've heard. You can play it with a pick to make it more like,
No.
um, I don't know the word. Uh, Music people, if you know the word for what the pick
Yeah.
does to the bass, let me know.
I think the word is
It's
treadly
something. I
or
don't
something
know.
like
It just
that.
does something to it. I
It's
know a
a
lot of
word. There's a word.
in rock music they tend to use picks on basses more. Um, so yeah, that's that. But yeah,
Actually, I have bass on my songs, so actually I don't own a bass and I've never played a bass or guitar, just
real.
pitch down an octave and
That's how you do
seems
it.
to
It's
work.
just as long
So
as you're just strumming single notes, you're fine. It's literally the same makeup. It's just less
yeah.
strings unless you have a bass with more strings.
I mean, we were at the topic of the White Stripes, so Seven Nation Army. That's not a bass. That's a guitar pitched
There
down
you
an
go.
octave. So
There you go. Oh man,
work for
Seven
that
Nation
song.
Army
So
haunts my nightmares. I love that song, but every time you walk into any music store in the history of ever, someone is playing it. Someone. I don't care where you go. I don't care what area of the planet you are on. There was someone right now playing Seven Nation Army on an instrument. Whether they're doing the pounding
yes.
kick drum or they're playing the riff, they're doing it. And it's I also had to learn it in high school.
It was also the first riff I ever
Well,
learned
there
on
we go.
guitar, so
That's nice. I still can't play guitar. I was gonna say, oh yeah, but no, I can't play. I never even really learned how to play piano. Like I can't do like flourishing things and like I can't do all that. I know how to play enough to make songs and that's it. It's kind of where I leave off. Um
yeah, but simple music can be just as
exactly.
good. It's again white stripes.
Exactly. No, you're right. You're right. I know a lot. I was watching this like one YouTube essay like 3 years ago where it was like are the drum patterns in White Stripes song too simple? And I was like, why are you in their business? Like,
Oh,
it's still good. Why are you in their business? Um, people are just annoying. But yeah, that was a good music conversation, good interview. I think that's a wonderful place to leave off for that. What about you? Got anything else you
yeah,
wanna mention?
yeah.
Any questions that I didn't ask that you want
No, I think no,
covered it?
we've talked about a lot
Nice,
of things.
nice. This is gonna become the White Stripes podcast. Sorry, grandson. Me and Alex are gonna be taking over this podcast. Sorry, you should have got on the podcast sooner. Womp womp. Okay, but now we're gonna head into our game. So, um, as a play on words for the end of the beginning tour, I like to call this game the end and the beginning. And essentially, what happens is I have gathered 6 different grandson songs, and I have found both the first and last word of every part in the song. So there's the verse, the chorus, the pre
Ooh,
chorus, what have you, what have you. And essentially, I'm going to give them to you one at a time, and you're going to try to figure out the song. Pretty simple. So
okay,
I will
okay.
start
Yeah.
you off fairly easy. And yeah, but before I start, are you ready? Okay, let's do
Yes,
this.
yes, I'm ready.
So, song number 1, verse 1, the first word is I, and the last word of the first verse is up.
Oh,
Let me
well,
know if you want another
I
part.
I is a very, very he's a
Mm-hmm.
very common word. I
Up.
mean, up. Uh, yeah, there's so many
So many
songs.
songs.
Um, maybe
Okay.
give me the next part
For the
and
pre
then
chorus, the first word is so, and the last word is forever. It's
it's
Diane.
Diane, isn't it?
See, that one was easy.
Yes.
Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
So forever
okay.
gave it
Yeah,
away.
forever does that. The next one's also gonna be fairly easy. Okay. Next song. Verse 1. First word is should, and the last word of verse 1 is ride.
Yes, we did
Yeah.
it.
Though, see,
That was easy.
these aren't that hard. I didn't want to make them too hard.
Easier
Very
than
easy,
I.
much easier than I. Okay. Um, Next song, first verse. First word is step. Last word is but.
Oh, but I'm blanking. Step, step, See, step seems like a word that would give it away, but I can't think of anything.
Interesting.
Oh God. No,
Okay,
maybe
next
give me
part
the
is the
next part.
chorus. The first word is if, and the last word is oh.
Oh, mm.
right,
give
the
me another
post
thought.
chorus, the first word is I, and the last word is trying.
Oh,
Hmm.
hmm. Could that be I
It is
love you, I'm
not.
trying? It's not. Oh, wait, but that's too
Mm-mm.
along their way.
Do you need me to repeat anything, or you want to just keep going?
Oh, God. I feel like I'm not gonna get this one. Oh God.
I'm trying not to like sing it in my head.
Huh? Oh, no. I can't think
Okay,
of
we
anything.
can go to the
Damn.
next verse. Verse 2,
Yeah.
the first word is spent, and the last word is but. If you want a hint, you're on the right album,
Oh God. Let's be tested.
obviously. Because the iron I'm trying. I knew that would be a
Yeah.
trick one.
Yeah.
You did good.
Wait. What was
Second verse is
the second
spent.
verse?
First
Word?
word, last word, but.
And, and, huh? Oh God. I feel like I should know this by now. Wait, it's just. Um, oh God. It's, it sucks to feel
No, you're fine.
embarrassing. Like this is where it gets revealed. I'm a fake
No,
fan. I
you're
don't know grandson.
you're
I'm
chill.
only here for the
Yeah,
white
no,
stripe.
that was the whole plan. It was a coup attempt to turn the granpod into the stripe pod.
Damn. Actually, that's a podcast that it exists. There's a podcast called Stripe where they talk about the history of the band, and they sort of stopped after 2 seasons with
That's kind of
no
cool.
reason.
Damn, that's
Anyway,
crazy.
yeah, it was really cool, and then it
It
just
happens.
stopped. Mm, okay, Ben,
No.
I can no,
Well,
it's
the
just
chorus is going to be the same.
no,
So
it's not.
the next
I'm not.
chorus is going to be if and oh again, but the bridge, the first word is beautiful and the last one is understand.
See, see, this is where I really should know it. I'm totally blanking. Oh God, this is insane.
The last chorus will reveal the answer if you want the last chorus.
Wait, repeat. Oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
stuck here with me.
I knew you'd get it. Literally, the
Damn.
last chorus
Oh,
starts with stuck, and
wait.
I was like, "Whoa! If you don't get it now, you'll get it in a second." But okay, there we go. See, you got it. You got it. They're not that hard. They're not that hard. All right, next song. We're already on song. We're already on song number
Took a
four. We're
while.
breezing through this. We got this. Verse one. Theirs. Last word. Die.
Mm, mm, mm,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
next
Pre-chorus.
part maybe.
It is the first word and breath is the last word.
Breath. It seems. Oh, oh God, I'm bad at this. God,
I think you're just letting stuck here with me psych you out. You got this. You got this.
it's this. Wait. What were the words for the
Pre
second
chorus
part
is first
again?
word is it, last word is breath.
Breath. Again, that seems like it should give it away. Breath. Give me the chorus.
Chorus. Till is the first word and down is the last word. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you're
6
onto it.
o'clock?
As soon as I saw your head, I was like, yeah, it is 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right, only two more songs. We're almost done. It starts off with the chorus. First word is win, and the last word is down.
Bury me face
Yep.
down.
See, you got that in a flash. You got that in an instant. You
Yeah.
got this. Last one. Arguably, I think this one's easy. So I think you're gonna get this, and you're gonna be fine. And then you'll be 6 for 6, and
Okay.
everything will be chill. Verse one. They, last word, fatal. You
Fallen.
got him! 6 out of 6. Let's go. See, that wasn't so bad.
Yes.
Stuck here with me got you a little bit.
Yeah. Sort of dropped off in the middle and then got
Stuck
back.
here with me got you a little bit. I knew that would get you. I knew that would
Yeah.
get you. Because it says I am trying, and I'm like, they're gonna say I love you, I'm crying. But it's not. Yeah, I'm a bit of a tricky trickster sometimes. But yeah, you got it.
See,
That
I
was
see.
fun. We had a time. We did that. And now
Yeah.
that the game is over, it's actually time for your deep dive topic. If you don't know what a deep dive topic is, then it's essentially where I give my guests a spotlight, I give them the floor. They can talk about whatever they please as long as it is something that they care about, that they're passionate about, something that they know about, so that they can teach us a little bit of something. So, what's your deep dive topic? What are we going on about? What are we discussing today?
Okay, so I thought we would bring it to some sort of a very fitting topic for grandson,
Hmm.
and that's politics. Um, and especially German politics, obviously, as I'm German, because actually a lot of people probably from other countries aren't as aware, but the situation
Mm,
is quite fucked up, actually, because there's I mean, in which country isn't the situation
briefly.
fucked up, honestly, but we have sort of rise of
Ooh,
right wing shit. There's like one party that's getting scarily big. That's quite right. So basically, they're actually officially by the state confirmed to be extreme right wing in 3 of the 16 states. So
yeah,
they they're quite
yeah,
right wing. Uh, and also a leading politician of theirs was called a Nazi, and then he sort of took it to court to get them to have it be an insult, so he can get the other person sued. And the court decided no, it's a fitting description. That's sort of where you see that they're not joking
Oh,
around. They're actually very very right wing. And the problem is that their numbers are rising quite significantly. Um, because mostly the people who vote for them, I mean, a lot of them are just sort of right-wing people, but also a lot of them are working class people who are just frustrated with
Hmm.
the current government, which, to be honest, is a fair point. But the problem is, this party sort of presents themselves as the party that supports those sort of
Hmm.
people and helps them, when in reality they don't even do that. Like recently, one of their politicians was elected mayor in a town, and during the election, he said he was gonna lower taxes and support like local businesses and things. And then he got elected, and what he did was raise taxes and not help anyone.
Jinkies.
So they're sort of basically just a lot of their voters are coming in through propaganda, basically, because they're just saying things that
Hmm.
they're not gonna do, and these people are just sort of very frustrated with the situation, so they vote for them, thinking that something would change, not realizing that it would actually just get worse for them. Like they uh, they present themselves as the party of
Yeah.
like lower class people, but actually they favor the rich. So it's the people who vote for them aren't even gonna benefit from their the stuff they would do. But those people don't realize it because in their frustration and sort of also probably just missing intelligence and to some point that they just don't realize that that's the case, because if they would just actually do some research and look up what they are actually doing, they would realize that it's not helping them at all, but they don't. So it's sort of heading in a very dangerous direction, because that then leads to other problems, as they're not only, as I said, not helping those people, but also they are very right wing. They want to like stop
Hmm.
immigration completely. They want to leave the
Oh,
European
damn.
Union. They're just they're crazy people, honestly. It's it's quite a thing, and it's actually scary thinking about that they would get to power.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Um, and I mean the next, I think our next big election is only in 2 years. But if you look at like the survey numbers, it's it's not looking good.
Oh no. Damn. It's really
Yeah.
interesting to hear about German politics because you're right. Like, I live in America, have not heard a thing about this, like, not even a lick, not a peep. And it's so interesting to hear how much that German politics, the political scene right now, actually like mimics what I have seen in American politics, because it's actually a really common tactic among those on the right, especially the far right, to appeal to the working class because they understand that the working class is usually the most frustrated group. And if you want anybody on your side, you're going to want someone who has the most frustrations. And as long as you tap into what they want and what they're desiring, um, then you have a diehard voter base that's not necessarily going to fact check you or going to try to look a little bit deeper and see like past convictions, like what have you done in the past when you've made these lofty promises or things like that. They're just going to go with the flow because they don't think they have any other option, because no other option so far has been good for them. And it happens a lot. It happened when Donald Trump got elected here, and he didn't do anything. He ended up just supporting the rich because he is the rich, and that's who serves to benefit from majority of white what the heck, right wing politics. I can speak. I talk. But yeah, the majority of right wing politics is made for those in the upper middle class or just the rich to benefit. That's just how it works. Um, so it's very.
That's just the ironic thing with it. Like they claim to support the lower people, actually they don't. And also, what was I gonna say? I forgot.
Dang, my bad, I talked too
Damn.
much.
I'm not
Dang.
gonna remember it anyway. Mm,
Okay,
It
no,
wasn't
it's
that
fine.
important.
It's fine. But yeah, I just think it's really interesting to hear about it, hear about another country's politics, and see how we're all going through the same shit. It's just in different fonts. Um,
Yeah, it's pretty much a thing that happens in a lot of
yeah,
places, and it's just as
it
scary
doesn't
everywhere.
get less scary. It really doesn't. And dang. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. Is there anything else you want to bring up about German politics? Maybe some uh I don't know. Anything else you want to bring up about it, or did you just mainly want to bring awareness to the
Well,
situation that's going on?
mostly that, but it's also a big problem we have that's like not directly in this certain party, but like related to them is that a lot of other parties are actually. At first, they all said like, no, those are very right wing. We don't want to have anything to do with them. But then actually, they sort of copy parts of their
Mm.
things, and it's really weird. It's getting into other parties, and it's
Yeah,
not good.
because once the
It's
other
really not.
parties see how successful a certain campaign is gonna be, they're gonna want to like cherry pick off of that to try to make their own like stances a little bit more appealing to the masses. Since they're like, well, I mean, I guess they like this, then we can kind of take it and put it in our own thing, and maybe we'll be a little more successful. So that is unfortunate. That is
Yeah.
extremely unfortunate. I'm hoping for the best. Hopefully there are some good. Well, actually, where does Germany like currently stand with the current like political system that's in place? Is it like very in the middle? Is it more to the left? Is it more to the right? Like where does it stand like as of right now?
Well, 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 they're supposed to be like relatively in the middle, but like sort of
Mhm.
leaning to the left. There's like we have a combination of three parties in power right now, and one is sort of like left leaning, the other one is also left leaning, and especially sort of
Mhm.
green, if you know what I mean. And the third party is sort of like all about finance and
Okay.
that sort of thing.
Then
It's
I get it.
weird, but in reality, they're actually just n not actually doing anything in sort of
Yeah.
any regards. Like they always claim like we want to like make change in the climate situation. We want to like fight climate change, and then they just
Yeah.
don't do shit.
That's typical.
It's
I was a political science major at one point, and there was a point where I did want to go into politics. And then I realized that politics is a game of lies and who can bluff the best. It's essentially one big game of poker, except they don't understand that you're not playing for chips, you're playing with people's lives. And it's really disappointing to look at. That's why I completely strayed away. Like when I go back to school, I'm going as a history major. I am not going back as a political science major. It's exhausting to look at. Um, so to hear about it. And I don't know that much about the political system in Germany, um, but from what I can tell, that tracks. It makes sense that because you said there's a left leaning party and then there's like a green party and then there's like a financial kind of party. That makes sense. And I can kind of translate
yeah,
that into American politics, and I can already tell that that is not, nothing's happening. Like, there is a complete standstill in any actual change because there's always going to be one of those that are pulling back in order to keep the right wing voters from going super, super far right wing. They're always going to do it no matter what. So any viable change that any one of them is going to have, someone else is going to be like, but we need these voters. So let's kind of dial back a little bit. And they keep dialing back and they keep dialing
yeah,
back until they cannot fulfill their promises anymore. And it's like, then what are you in power for? Like, what are you doing? You're not doing anything. You're just there. So, yeah,
yeah,
that's got to be extremely frustrating. And I honestly just send nothing but hope, over there in the coming years? When is your next election? You said it's in a couple years.
It's, I think it's 2025. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's
That's
2025.
crazy.
But the sort of the problem with that is if you look at the numbers and if like those would actually be the voting results, we would have two parties in power then, and those would be a Christian conservative party and the far right
Oh,
party I just talked about.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully that turns around. Hopefully, as it gets closer to the election, that
I hope
efforts
so.
from more left leaning, and the left isn't always right because the left is very tame most times. A lot of times, right wing parties get by because they are more extreme and they have more takes that are just like to the ceiling, and kind of in a similar vein of what we discussed
Yeah,
earlier in relation to music, where we kind of can't make music if it's not angry or sad because it doesn't hit as hard. Same thing happens with political rhetoric, because if you are angry at
yeah,
something or you gather someone against a common enemy, that's gonna go way further than anything, and the left tends not to do that unless there's already a the right is already in power, and then they're like, well, we need to do something, but it's like you could have done something before and you didn't.
yeah.
So yeah, that's it's a whole thing.
We have a party that's literally called the left, if you translate it, but they are really small. They've just sort of been going
Ugh.
backwards over the years, and also until recently, their leader was actually a right wing person. It's
Yeah,
sort of
that
weird.
happens.
I
That
don't know how
happens.
that happens, but they've left the party now, so actually maybe that
Maybe,
helps.
but it's usually a lot of times
We'll see.
different politicians will switch what side they're on in order to appeal to more people, because it's a whole thing. It's whole politics as a whole is just, again, one big game of poker, and it's really stupid,
It's just fucked.
annoying. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and sharing. I wish we could have ended on a better note, but we can only have hope going
Yeah,
forward that there are more efforts, and even like maybe more grassroots left wing efforts that'll help to curtail it a little bit. Even a party that's more like partisan, like in the middle, to like come in and just kind of be like, no, to help out with that. But yeah, sending nothing
yeah,
but hope over there because that could be a mess. And with that, gonna if it's in
for
2025, it's
sure.
gonna be coming shortly after the American election, and that's gonna be bonkers.
Oh yeah,
And a lot of times, American as a global superpower can help influence other elections. And I don't know what's going on out here. I quite literally don't know what's happening.
yeah.
Like, I live in Vegas, and Joe Biden was literally just in Vegas like a few days ago. Like, why are you here? Don't you have something to do? Um, he was like, he was presenting a railroad or something, and I'm like, why are you focused on infrastructure? Like, teachers aren't getting paid enough. What are we doing? Um, yeah. So,
Weird.
wishing us both luck within the next upcoming elections, because that's
Yeah,
gonna be very much
it's
so.
needed.
But yeah, that's the end of the deep dive topic, and now we're in the home stretch. We're almost done. How's it going? How you feeling? You made it.
Good. I mean, pretty
Yeah,
less good
no,
after this topic,
that's
but
actually
generally good.
extremely valid. That's extremely valid. Um, so this last section of the podcast is essentially where I do the submission portion. So if there's any like birthdays, any advice, anything like that, we haven't gotten any, which actually makes this a lot more streamlined because now we just have the grandkids song recommendations. So essentially, what happens is you say a song recommendation, I say a song recommendation, and then I give three picks that the grandkids gave us, and that's it. So, do you want to start or do you want me to start? Okay.
Oh, you can
So,
start.
um, tickle at my throat. That's fun. I originally had what song I was going to do. And then I saw that a grandkid chose that song. And I was like, I'll talk about that later then. Um,
Ooh,
I usually do whatever song is at the top of my Spotify on repeat because that's the song that I've been listening to the most. I don't know if my Spotify on repeat has changed yet, but I do know what song I've been listening to, and I'm just gonna check real quick to see if it has. It has changed. So the song I'm going to recommend to the grandkids is "Verbatim" by Mother Mother. Is this song old? Yes. I don't care. I just found it like 3 days ago, and it is all I have been able to listen to. There's like a total of like maybe 4 songs that I've been able to listen to, and it is one of them, and it is the most prominent one. I it's so delicious. I can taste the song, and it is so good. It is like it's so wild and wacky, and it's a little bit horned up, and I'm like, I don't know about all that, but it's like really really fun, and I don't know. I just love fun music, and my friend Moon, shout out Moon, loves Mother Mother and has been trying to get me into Mother Mother for ages, and it just randomly came up on my daily mix, and I listened to it and I was like, dang, this is gas. And then it took over my brain for the last 3 days. So my song choice is gonna be Verbatim by Mother Mother. And yeah, that's that. What about yours? What song recommendation are you giving?
So my song choice is something I found on TikTok a few weeks ago. It's called Partner in Crime by Madeline May. It's sort of I don't know how to describe it. It sort of starts off very like calmly and then
Mm,
it just goes with a lot of energy and it sort of scratches the
fun.
brain in a really nice way. It's hard to
That
describe, but
sounds
it's a
fun.
lot of fun. And then it sort of goes back to the calm thing. You have to
Okay.
listen to it to understand it,
I
but
will listen
it's
to it.
awesome.
I will
I love it.
definitely listen to it. I
Great.
love finding new music. And now we're gonna go into the grandkids song recommendation. So the first song recommendation, let me get water so I don't cough. The first grandkid song recommendation is Murder Games by Bad Flower. I love Bad Flower. Bad Flower was I had considered it my favorite band up until like this year when I found Sleep Token and a little bit last year when I found Knocked Loose. Bad Flower is one of my favorite bands. I love them so dearly. Murder Games is a banger. Song's really really good. Okay. That song's really really good. Um It's essentially about like the meat industry and how fucked up it is and all that. And I eat meat, so I'm a little bit a hypocrite for liking the song so much, but like it's very very good, and I it makes me feel guilty, and I probably don't eat meat for the rest of the day, but I do love the song a lot. It's got this really like dark sound, um rock music, really really good, great lyrics. Yeah, that's Murder Games by Bad Flower. Do you listen to Bad Flower at all? Are you familiar?
Actually, it's probably one of those bands that I would probably enjoy, but I just haven't
Real.
started listening to yet. Like I had the same thing
Oh,
with
I
Dead
love
Poet
Dead
Society
Poet
for a while.
Society.
Like on Spotify when you have a playlist and under it it gives you like
hmm
5 songs that could fit. I had like Dead Poet Society in there for ages and I
mm
never checked them out and then I did and
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
the best thing I
I
ever
love.
did,
I was literally
probably.
before I put on this. I was wearing my Dead Poet Society hoodie. Cause I just wear it around my apartment. I love Dead Poet Society. Actually, Bad Flower is how I found Dead Poet Society. Cause Dead Poet Society opened for them, and they opened for them a couple of times. So I think
Oh,
3 of the 4 times I saw Dead Poet Society, they were no 2 of the 4 times they opened for Bad Flower because they tour together like quite often, I guess. Um, and it changed my brain chemistry. The song "Swarm" live changed me as a person. My chemical makeup is different. It's so good. I love Dead Poet Society. Their exclamation album is one of my favorite albums of all time.
it's
Yeah,
so good.
I think it sits at number 3 or number 2. It's number 2 or number 3 of my favorite albums of all time. It always fights the Black Parade for the second spot. So, but
Oh, that's a
yeah.
that's a good one as well.
My favorite album of all time is like this indie breakup record that is extremely sad. So sad that the artist never toured on it
Oh,
because he was like, this is depressing. Yeah. So
oh,
that's my favorite album of all time. It's also my comfort
oh.
album. And then somewhere along that is Black Parade and Exclamation. And then there's a couple more. But I love the Exclamation album a lot. That's my baby. My favorite song on there has Been Here Before. Um, that's my baby. I think I did like a whole like mini essay on it on Twitter just because I was listening to it and I was obsessed
Oh,
with it. And I was like, I can't take it off loop. This is the best song I've ever heard in my life. Um,
okay, I find it hard to decide. Mine always changes to between Into
oh
Deep
no,
and
you're
Bury Me
so
Whole.
real.
It's sort of
Those are I
there is.
often sing In Too Deep just walking around my house. Same thing with Bury Me Whole. Bury Me Whole was my favorite Dead Poet Society song up until I heard the entire album. But when it was a single, I was like, this is the only song to ever exist in the history of ever. I've never heard any other song in my life. Like that's how much. But my favorites are Been Here Before, Love You Like That, and Salt. Oh, Salt is so good. Salt is so
Oh
good.
yes, Salt.
Why did
Oh
they
God,
make
yes,
that? Um,
yes.
but yeah, I could talk about Deadpool Society all day. Um, okay. Second grandkid song recommendation is Viking by Slaughter to Prevail. I have yet to hear the song, and but I know who Slaughter to Prevail is. If I'm not mistaken, I've either been to a festival where they were playing it, or I'm going to a festival where they're playing it. So
I have.
yeah,
I only know the
I
name.
don't know anything. I'm assuming it's a lot heavier because it'd
Yeah.
be funny if it was like a pop song with a name like Slaughter to Prevail. But you never know. That'd be kind of funny. But yeah, I'm assuming it's a bit heavier. I'm actually really excited to listen to that one. And if you're listening, you should listen to it too. And the last song on the Grandkids song recommendations is "Can't Stop Now" by Joey Valence and Bray. This song took over my mental state for the last the last week of time because it came out like a week ago. About a week ago. It's almost 2 weeks now. Before I my brain became obsessed with verbatim, all I could listen to, and I do mean all I could listen to, was Can't Stop Now. It is the only thing I could listen to. It's still like fighting for the top spot on my on repeat. It is it's I got this. First off, I can talk about the song for the rest of my life because originally was gonna have this as my song choice, my song recommendation. That's how someone else had it, and I was like, oh okay, I can still talk about it. The beat to the song is insane. I started listening to Joey Valence and Bray because grandson had them on his pre-show set list for the song Drop. It's like, we came to drop bombs. I came, I saw. And I was like, damn, that's kind of gas. So then I listened to the album and I was like, damn, this album is amazing. There's like two songs I don't like. Yeah, there's like two songs that I don't like, but it's a really good album. For like the style they have this like this kind of old school nostalgic rap rock kind of vibe, and they draw from like older inspirations. So like there's like one song where they like reference like Teen Titans, and like they just I don't know, they always pull and reference very nostalgic things. Even in the beginning of Can't Stop Now, they have like this not it's not even a sample of SpongeBob, it's an impression of someone doing SpongeBob, and they're like, Mr. Krabs, stop it right now. Like it's very nostalgia based and like pulled, and it's the beat to this song. I want to eat it. Like it's got this really fun melody, and yeah, I cannot recommend the song enough. It scratches an itch in my brain that I didn't know needed scratching. It's so
Yeah, that's so how I feel about the song I recommended. It's very I don't even know.
yeah,
It's just
exactly.
good.
Sometimes you just can't explain. Sometimes it's just good. It's just good. So listen to what we say. And yeah, that's it. That's the podcast. We did it. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. We didn't.
Mhm.
No, but we did. And yeah, so tell the people where they can find you. Give all your things, your socials, your artist name. I will link everything in the description of the
Yes.
YouTube video, and I will post links onto Twitter. But yeah, just go ahead.
Yes. Yes. My artist name is BUZZKILL on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you want to listen to your music. I don't. Yeah. Um, my Instagram is BUZZKILL Music. I think, but actually, it's BUZZKILL underscore music, and that's my TikTok as well. Um, and my Twitter is sort of just me. If you wanna, I do Twitter things. It's actually, what is my Twitter? I think it's underscore a 3 L's, the number three and two X's because everything
Sounds
else
about
was
right.
already taken. So I sort of had to just put things in there and make it longer. Uh, yeah, but maybe listen to
Maybe.
my
I
music.
will link it. You should listen to it. That is the a bonus music recommendation. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was great. Did you enjoy your time here? Was this good? Yay!
Definitely. Again,
Of
thanks
course.
for
Of
inviting me
course.
for
I
this.
always like to invite the grandkids no matter what. And this is like our first time actually like kind of conversing. So it's nice.
Yeah, actually, I've never spoken to anyone like of the grandkids in person. Actually,
I know what you mean.
it's not in person, but like actual talk. Actually, I've never actually had a conversation in
Dang, that's
English like
crazy.
that.
Maybe next time I'll
Actually,
learn
I've
German and then we
oh,
can have the conversation in German.
oh,
Or you can meet me halfway and you can learn Welsh,
good luck.
but I'll finish learning Welsh. And then we'll meet in the middle.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
But yeah, that's gonna be it. And thank you for listening. And I hope you have a grantastic day.